Welcome, beautiful yogis. We are going to practice restorative yoga, where we'll use all our props and lie for an extended period of time in the variety of postures. I'll be guiding you through some breath practices, relaxing breath practices, and a few reflections. So let's begin in the open book pose. You can see how it's set up on 2 blocks and the bolster, and we'll sit at the end of it, bringing the soles of the feet together and simply lie back all the way in the middle, and so that you fall away each side. The limbs fall away as the trunk is fully supported in the bolster. Some might like a little head pillow here, neck pillow. Your feet in cobbler's pose, matching up together with the knees out wide, or your legs straight out. This is how we begin, closing your eyes. We come as we are in this moment, in this body, knowing that we chose to participate in this practice, to give it our all, and that we find here a little shelter, a little sanctuary in the context of our global collective history unfolding, which I think we'll all agree is pretty chaotic. Let's take a lovely nose breath in. Fill your chest cavity to fullness. Pause a moment. And please blow this breath away. Let's do that again. Filling up through your nose to fill from the bottom of your lungs and move the feeling of the breath, the expanding, rising force, to the fullness moment where we'll pause a moment. Switching now to the pursed lips for exhalation. I like to call this the dandelion breath, this light blowing away. We'll do a few more of these to simply connect with the breath and to arrive in this moment fully. These breathing bodies where we live, and the breath being our most immediate connection to all that is. And as you do a couple more, to realize that we are already beginning to reset the nervous system from the high alert to the gentle presence of here and now. Your next exhalation can be through your nose. Maintaining that little pause at the top of the breath. And then as you reach the end of the nose exhalation, to drop into that little moment of no breath at all, feeling that fully. Welcoming each breath as it arises. So full, and then so empty. Follow and shape your breath. This open book pose works on the physicality, our body, the solid part of us, the bone structure, the limbs, the joints, spine. In harmony with the breath, which invites greater space and more opening. And with each exhalation, just that little bit more ease and relaxation and letting go. Please stay with this in your inward state. The inhale, the exhale, working in sync to do magic through your body-mind, this magic that's just always going on, balancing the opposites. Share with you a little piece of the beautiful poet Rumi. Your grief for what you've lost lifts a mirror up to where you are bravely working. Your grief for what you've lost lifts a mirror up to where you are bravely working. Expecting the worst, you look, and instead, here's the joyful face you've been wanting to see. Your hand opens and closes, and opens and closes. If it were always a fist, or always stretched open, you would be paralyzed. Your deepest presence is in every small contracting and expanding, the two as beautifully balanced and coordinated as birds' wings. As you rest and breathe, perhaps you might lengthen the pauses of your breath. You might find it possible to do the square breath, where the four parts of the breath are the same length. It is useful to test the square moderately, beginning with a count of 4, say. And the tell is that holding of the breath on empty. And so if there's a quiver and a throb and a gasp there, then you should modify your square to a little one. And perhaps you are building strength and you could make it bigger, 5. Some do a count of 6. The invitation now to practice in this open book shape, the square breath. As you complete the square breath that you're on, completing that pause on empty, allow the inhale to come in any way it wants to. Let go any counting, let go any shaping. Sense and feel how that is different. We have shifted from doing to allowing. The other wing, the two wings with which we balance our lives. Rest now in the being breathed. So as you observe and feel the being breathed, you might observe that your mind is still producing thoughts, and it will. Just let it all be. As we rest in beingness, nothing to shape or control. Beautiful, everyone, and we shift again. So if you've got your knees wide, with a deep breath in, grab your knees, bring them up together, and please roll over off your setup. moving slowly and mindfully so that we can set up for our next shape, which you probably have guessed is going to be the supported child's pose. And let's have a little platform blanket to sit on. We'll start on the left butt cheek. Your bolster setup can stay. We drop on the left butt cheek and the knees will be to your right. And this is where we snuggle in close and lift and turn your trunk towards the bolster, lying down on your left ear and settling your legs. Zigzaggy legs or the bottom leg extended. There's that extra blankie there that you can use to prop up anything that feels it would like a little softness and lift. To settle now into the in and the out breath being equal in length, no pauses, just smooth and deep, and feeling the penetrating inhale into your back. How the exhale can soften the weight of your body deeper into the bolster. And this time to be truly present with your own being. With gentle awareness, we move again. Switch sides in the same shape. Coming up either on your knees or on your tush to settle onto your right buttock. Zigzaggy legs or extended leg. Rotate your trunk. Even in that rotation, you might sense your spine adjusting, and lie down, be held. Tend to the shape that you're in so that you feel supported and comfortable. Coming back into conscious breathing, the in and the out breath, the same length. deepest presence in every contracting and expanding. It may sound like a rain stick, but it's actual rain and even hail that you might be able to hear falling on our yoga roof as we rest and breathe. All right, beautiful yogis. How quickly things change. We started our practice in sunlight, and now we are in a stormy hail. Please make your way out of this shape. And come into child's pose, so the bolster can again stay sitting back. You can use a blankie to sit on if your knees need that little bit of support. Come forward and lie forward, tucked in, child's pose. See where your head wants to be. And our other pose that we can do at this time, if you don't like child's pose, would be the marvelous crocodile pose. It's going to be lying on your tummy with the bolster there and your legs not folded under. Your legs just relaxed out behind you. You're not sure, you can have a little look, since I'm now in crocodile pose. Still the Samavriti breath. Samavriti meaning equal. Equal in and out breath. As you rest in child's pose or in a crocodile pose. Your deepest presence is in every small contracting and expanding, the two as beautifully balanced and coordinated as birds' wings. Lovely, everyone. Slowly make your way out of child's pose or crocodile pose. And give your legs a little stretch. Open the back of the knees if you've been in child's pose. And then you might notice I've already set up for our next pose, which is the seated forward bend, as I have two blocks, the bolster across it, and a place to place the tush, a folded blankie. So set up your props for the seated forward bend. All we need is a little lift under the seat and a place to rest the brow, and with a nice long straight spine between tail and crown. So what's lovely about this pose is we rest the forearms on whatever structure you've got. The underarms open, the chest can drop forward. Of course, you can choose your leg position, cross legs or straddle legs. See what your body wants today. We settle the body, return to the breath. The expanding, the contracting, the opening, the closing. That continuous cycle where we are all resting at this time of great turmoil around us. Our great big sun is throwing out massive flares, creating solar storms and affecting the earth and our bodies. We have beautiful auroras to be seen, and other things are affected too. And so if you feel very tired or you feel a little lost, know that this too is normal in the time of great turbulence, weather, dramatic weather, and even some wounded masculine madmen run amok on our planet, causing chaos. Here we rest and breathe together in our sanctuary, in trust, in peace, this resting in peace is part of healing our world. And if you feel lost, know that this too is quite normal at this time. I came across a beautiful paragraph by a Canadian poet, wise woman. Her name is Toko Pa Turner, which is actually an Aborigine name, but she lives in Canada and looks like you and I. So here's what she says. Drop your maps and listen to your lostness like a sacred calling into presence. Drop your maps and listen to your lostness like a sacred calling into presence. Here where the old ways are crumbling and you may be tempted to burn down your own house. Ask instead for an introduction to that which endures. This place without a foothold is the province of grace. It is the questing field, the most responsive to magic and fluent in myth. Here, where there is nothing left to lose, sing out of necessity that your ragged heart be heard. Send out your holy signal and listen for the echo back. I'm going to read it one more time. Drop your maps and listen to your lostness like a sacred calling into presence. Here, where the old ways are crumbling and you may be tempted to burn down your own house. Ask instead for an introduction to that which endures. An introduction to that which endures. This place without a foothold is the province of grace. It is the questing field, the most responsive to magic and fluent in myth. Here, where there is nothing left to lose, sing out of necessity that your ragged heart be heard. Send out your holy signal and listen for the echo back. And so it's true in so many of our lives, the loss of the old anchors and the comfort zones. We feel unsettled, disoriented, and confused. And it takes grit and grace to stop being attached to old thinking about the ways things should be, or used to be, or could be. It takes some real courage to adjust to because it's such a vulnerable place and there's nothing to cling to and no familiar reference points. It seems that many of us are experiencing that. The maps have disappeared. Your breath is here. your calming and reassuring breath. This calming and reassuring breath that reminds us that we each have our own inner GPS, an installed, fully reliable guidance systems with access to real-time data from somewhere beyond your inevitably limited perspective on things. So as we breathe and rest, we cultivate a deeper connection to that. And it rises out of stillness. It is said that this cultivating a deeper relationship with this inner sense of knowing is the single most powerful way of making better decisions, producing desired results, and navigating life with more ease and grace, no matter what is happening around you. What is my unique invitation to renewal and innovation? What, now that I've stopped struggling and striving and seeking and searching, what new freedom is here? So beautiful, yogis. Let's slowly rise on up from this seated forward bend, coming now into a lovely upright place, and let's practice a little alternate nostril breathing here. So remember what to do. Your right hand thumb lightly closes your right nostril, and your index and middle finger could rest on your brow, and your left nostril is open. Inhale left. And when you're full of breath, bring your ring finger, close up your left and lift your thumb, exhaling right. Right side in. Switching. Left side out. And left side in. And switching for the right side out, knowing that we're going to inhale each time on the same side. And we could add a little resting moment at the fullness of breath and then exhale the opposite side. Even resting at this end of this breath, same side in. Continuing now, cueing yourself, the invitation as you exhale to the opposite side to pause. To inhale the same side and to pause to switch for exhale. And so as you continue with your own self-navigation, Notice these pauses. You might be able to work towards square breath combined with alternate nostril. As you complete the exhalation, rest your hand down, stay inward, feeling now your easy, natural breath through the both nostrils. Shifting again to simply being breathed and witnessing this being breathed. And then as your back is ready, please come onto your back with your legs elevated. You could be over the little tabletop, or you could make your way to a wall in your space. And we let the back really rest as we bring the legs higher than the heart, so your heart gets to rest as well. Lying back, being supported completely now by the ground beneath you, your legs lifted, also supported. I invite you now to take a beautiful deep nose inhale. Holding this breath a moment. As you exhale, turn your head slowly towards the left. Exhaling. When you're ready to breathe in, roll your head back to center. The exhale, the journey of your face, your head turning towards the right. Rest a moment on no breath. And come back to the center line. Letting your head settle. And it might feel lovely, if your head is comfortable, to make the most minuscule side to side with your head. It's a tiny movement, barely moving. This is not muscular. This is somatic. In the body, to deepen the relaxed state. As though your head were rolling all on its own in this tiny little movement. You might match it with your breath, so that it seems like a long journey to one side with the sync with your breath, but it's actually not very far at all because we're going so slowly. And how the exhale follows with a tiny bit deceptively long, the length of the exhale the other way. Play with that. The breaths are deep, the movement minuscule. And when it feels enough, just come to stillness and rest in this very supported, elevated legs position. As we continue to rest the upper back, the lower back in this supported place, you You might enjoy this subtle energy practice, nothing to do except awarenessing. The arms, the hands are completely still, feel them. Attention to your left nostril, feeling the natural breath in through your left, the natural breath out through your right. In right, out left. Same practice, but now on a much more subtle level. As you find yourself exhaling, let the breath go out through both. And now being aware of your whole body in this shape, deeply at rest. We'll be here for about 5 or so more minutes. No, we'll be here for 5 or more or so breaths. So beautiful, yogis. Let's complete this pose. You might bring your knees in towards your chest, rock a little side to side. And as you make your way up, let's rearrange our props. We're going to set up for supported bridge pose. So bring your blocks to the foot end. Your pillow blankie above your mat, as we won't use it now. And as you make your way onto your back, Be sure you can reach your bolster, pull it closer with your feet so that it's very easy to press your feet down and raise your hips for bridge pose. While your hips are lifted, pull that bolster under your buttocks, your low back, your sacrum, snuggle in, get comfy, and arrange your arms so comfortably, rolled open, palms up. And then your feet could rest on or over the blocks. If it feels too much, just keep your knees bent. So now it's the upper back and shoulders that are so deeply supported. Whole body has loads of space to extend, to stretch, to feel and to fill with your breath. So as we rest and breathe and know we've lost our maps, we're tuning into our inner navigation, into this deep listening and this stillness. We are so connected to every part of the cosmos. Sometimes it takes a poet to remind us of that. And so here I have the words, contemporary poet. You'll find him on Facebook, Fred Lamotte. Here we go. The hollow that runs through your spine pierces the heart of the Andromeda. The serpent coils of Laniakea, which is a supercluster galaxy, I looked that up. The serpent coils of Laniakea, one silken thread of emptiness that makes all creatures quiver and beat with a weightless kiss. A whirling of atoms, minds and stars into something like a nest. Scraps of twig and berry twined by a great winged mothering, whose breath trembles and warms, stirring the deep. A ruffled softness over the smooth blue egg of the sky. What is inside? We only pretend to know anything. Call it an ancient dawn that is not yet broken, holding in tiny seed cups the wine of April. Notice everywhere the embryonic curve, the curl of their little hands, petals shaping themselves in dreams at the stamen's tip. The grey stuff in cocoons, neither wing nor worm. Or say these infant beams gaze through all centres, from the mirror of your face into the mirror of mine, until their lips collide in the ecstatic catastrophe that is everywhere. Look upward, look down. To ascend is to fall in all directions at once. The teaching of the rose. In this restful conscious breathing, we are ascending. Our frequency is changing. We are open to love, to gratitude, to wisdom. It is already here within us. And so, beautiful yogis, let's gently transition from supported bridge to Shavasana. Push the bolster down, let your sacrum land, and then if you like, pull that head pillow under, and any other support that feels right for you. To cover. And then just letting your body fall away at this beautiful, timeless moment. Drop deep. so beautiful yogis. Staying in the very restful place, but bring your awareness to your heart. Practicing now heart breath. Breathing in and out of your heart. So that all the peace, quiet and centeredness that we have gathered within ourselves and together, sensing that filling your heart, and how knowing and understanding how everything is connected, we can intentionally now send this beautiful energy out, first to your most beloved person, people in your life. Energy goes where our attention flows. The power of our intention is unfathomable. And then widening the circle of your kind and generous bestowing of this deep quality that we've accessed. Widening the circle for healing of all places that are in suffering, that are in fear and lack. That all beings everywhere may benefit from our practice. That all beings everywhere will have all needs met. We send it out from our hearts together. Please stay if you are just lovely where you are. And if you're ready now to roll onto your side, full of gratitude, make your way up to sit. We are so grateful for your presence that we can do this together. I'd like you to know the sky is blue again. The rain and the hail have gone. Namaste, beautiful yogis.